Yesterday, we had Scott White's favorite sleepers. Today, we have breakouts, plus a few spring training updates next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5, a podcast that gets you caught up fast on the fantasy news and advice that you need to know. Follow and stream us on Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are found. Today is Friday, March 5th. I am Frank Sanfel, joined by Scott White, and let's get things started with your favorite breakout heading into the season, Scott.
My favorite breakout is one I probably would have called my favorite breakout last year too, and that's Nick Castellanos of the Cincinnati Reds, who had a better year than people think. I mean, in terms of power production, he kind of did break through with 14 home runs in 218 at-bats, but he hit only 225. The slugging percentage was around 450. But you look at the expected stats. Expected batting average 273, expected slug 542. He was still making high-quality contact. That really positions him to be kind of this year's Marcell Ozuna. And like the backstory for the breakout in the first place, he played all those years in Detroit, the toughest place to hit a home run to right center, and that's where all of Nick Castellanos' fly balls went. He robbed him of so many home runs. We saw him go crazy with the Cubs after he was traded. We saw him go crazy with the Reds. He's a great line drive hitter, normally a high BABIP because of it. He had bad BABIP look last year, only 257, had his career worst strikeout rate. That's going to normalize too. And I think when all's said and done, Nick Castellanos could be like a 300 hitter with 35 plus home runs. We're talking like, I don't know, like a Nolan Arenado type profile. Really, really exciting stuff there still.
Your words to my ears, Scott. Let's make it happen because I am very excited about Castellanos as well. You mentioned the bad BABIP luck that he had last year. Among 23 qualified hitters with a 25% line drive rate or better, Nick Castellanos' 257 batting average on balls in play was by far the lowest, so I am expecting some positive batting average regression for Nick Castellanos as well. Let's hit on some of these spring training updates, Scott, because you wrote an awesome article, which people can find on cbssports.com/fantasy/baseball, and we'll start things off with Frankie Montas, who broke out in 2019 thanks to the emergence of his splitter. He got away from that pitch a little bit last season, and now he's talking about getting back to using the splitter more. Right, Scott?
Yeah. He seemed to realize what was obvious, that the splitter is really what made him during that breakout season. It became his best swing and miss pitch. It made him a better ground ball pitcher. And we wondered why he went away from it last year. And we're thankful he seems to have realized it himself. Because I mean, if he gets back to throwing it like he did in 2019, then maybe he'll get back to those numbers, a sub-3 ERA. Looks like a borderline ace. The splitter's the key for Montas, and he knows it.
Aaron Hicks, who currently has an ADP of 276.2, is apparently going to bat third in the Yankees lineup, according to manager Aaron Boone. That's a very enticing spot to be in for fantasy purposes, Scott. And we're talking about someone who's going as late as Aaron Hicks is.
Yeah, really late. And third for the Yankees lineup would mean he's batting behind DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge. It would mean he's batting ahead of Giancarlo Stanton and Luke Voit. Prime opportunity for runs and RBI, but I really want to focus on the runs because he's such a good on-base threat. In fact, his plate discipline is so good, this gets overlooked with Aaron Hicks, that when we last saw him healthy for a full season in 2018, 3.29 head-to-head points per game. That's about what Kyle Tucker averaged last year. So that's really his format, Hicks head-to-head points. But even in traditional roto leagues, I mean, 25 homer power, 15 steal potential, and like I said, a ton of runs, possibly a good number of RBI as well. A whole is greater than the sum of the parts guy in that format as well.
I mentioned the ADP for Aaron Hicks is all the way down at 276.2. Kyle Tucker, just for example, the ADP is 34.8. So quite a bit of a difference there, especially in a head-to-head points league. Aaron Hicks is a name that you should be paying attention to late in your drafts. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, and anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. This is your audio outlet for fantasy news and advice in just 5 minutes. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again on Monday morning. Bye-bye.